basically, like, I started in '94, so I missed the '80s craze. That period, I was on my skateboard riding around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was picking up like street cultures, but
Yep.
I missed the whole first wave.
Yep. Yep.
And then what triggered me was when I was into skateboarding at the end of my skateboard. Like I started when I was 10, like in '87, I started with skateboarding.
Mm-hmm.
And then like around '97, I made the total switch to breaking because
Yep. Sure.
that was like my new thing. But it like it was gradually because like skateboarding also music wise and fashion wise it moved towards hip hop in the
Cool.
'90s.
Yep.
So what happened is we went from obscure punk rock bands to grunge to
Mm-hmm.
Beastie Boys, Cypress Hill,
Yep.
and before we knew it, we were like really like I was watching all Yo MTV rap videos that were out there.
Yeah. Cool.
And since my brother was in graffiti, I have an older brother. That basically brought in our home. It brought like documentaries about hip hop
Yep.
in the '80s in New York.
Yeah. Sure.
So I saw Rocksteady and stuff, and I was attracted to it. And then when I saw it in video clips coming back, because they also had Crazy Legs in a lot of the early video clips, like the Chief Rocker video and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it clicked for me. Like, oh snap, this is coming back, and it's super dope. But like, it was super clear for me. Like, this is underground, and
Mm. Sure.
yeah. So basically, that's I got into it, and
Yep.
then I think the first few years of my career, like you probably saw it in the videos, but I didn't. There was no competitions in Holland because it was really slow.
Yep.
So I got all my information from videos, and
Yeah. Yeah. So
then I went
where?
teaching
Yeah. What city was this in? Was this in Amsterdam, or did you
I'm from
grow up in a?
Amsterdam.
Okay, so it's
I
in
grew up
Amsterdam.
in Amstelveen.
Yep.
Actually, I was still living with my parents, and I lived like, let's say, 30 minutes outside of Amsterdam.
Yeah. Sure.
More of a quiet area,
Yep.
family area,
Yep. Yep.
and yeah. So I had to travel to Amsterdam to go to for the nightlife
Yep.
and to
To
actually meet the people that were also getting into breaking
yeah.
around that
Yeah.
time.
So to practice
I
and
met
things
my
like
crew
this.
in Amsterdam.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Sure. Okay.
yeah.
Cool. So it's been about what, almost more than 20 years that you've been breaking for.
30. Yeah,
30.
30.
God damn.
Yeah, crazy,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
Yeah.
And next weekend I will turn 48.
Wow.
So
Cool.
when I started, I actually was young. I was, or
Yep.
not young, I wasn't young anymore. I was like around 17,
Yep. Yep.
16, 17, you know? So,
Sure.
yeah.
Cool. It's good to know. Like, were you always sort of like a, you said that competitions weren't really happening that much.
No.
But I'm assuming as time went on, maybe more
Yeah,
and more
they
events
popped
started
up.
happening. Like, did you sort
Yeah.
of have like a competitive, uh, like run or phase in your life?
Um, Actually, not well. Yeah, we did enter battles because it
Mm-hmm.
was, of course, part of what breaking was.
Mm-hmm.
But I already was so used to just train to perform, train to cipher, train to just be able to do moves. That I think I developed mainly a relationship with breaking, where it was that process already was very satisfactory to me.
Mm.
Where I speak to a lot of new generation kids that really need the battle to know where they stand or to even be
Yeah.
motivated to
Yep. It's a
it.
big
And
part of
that
their
I think
identity.
that whole thing doesn't apply to me. Like
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I did when I entered battles, it was just purely to show like, yo, this is what I got, and
Yep.
but there was not this extra like, yo, this sort of I need
Mm-mm.
to prove myself that
Yeah.
much,
Yeah. Okay.
So, but that also is my character. I think I'm
Mm.
not very confrontational,
Mm.
so I just really love breaking.
Yeah. Sure.
So I was,
Yeah.
like really deep into to moves and the whole process of mastering moves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and also I must say a lot of the competitions when we started were kind of rigged
Oh.
because
Yeah.
like they had weird judging panels and they
Oh.
would like
Yeah.
appreciate everybody that came with anything that looked new
Yeah. Yeah.
over the style that we were doing
Yeah.
because like my style was very much based on the '80s foundation
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
added on top like some let's say battle squad storm
Yeah. Yeah.
kind
Cool.
of approach,
Yep.
some threading the way Amiga would do it from flying steps
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so it wasn't as because around 2000 there was this new wave. Like of course there was the Run DMC clip with Cujo in it
Mm-hmm.
and throwing his air flare And from that moment on, everybody wanted to do air flares, wanted to do crazy
Yep.
90s, hollow backs, roll up
Yep.
freezes. And for me, that switch, I wasn't really like,
Went too
oh,
keen.
I was so used to this continuous sort of European style as you
Yep.
described it. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
yeah,
So
didn't really
you
go in the
decided
battles.
to, so instead of beating the competition, you instead decided to join the judging panel yourself. Because I'm actually quite
Well, no,
curious.
that happened. Yeah, that happened
Mm,
way later on. Like
mm,
that happened. Like I think my first judging gig was around maybe 2006 or something. So I was
okay.
already like
Yep.
dancing for a good 10 years.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And yeah, like what I but I was always busy with breaking, but also
Mm-mm.
because we got like a lot of gigs with
Yeah,
our
yeah.
crew.
Cool.
We just do showcases and clubs and
Yep.
festivals and whatever. And I started getting into teaching very early on, like
Yep.
98.
Yep.
So I had regular classes every week.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So you're like pretty in the scene already, and then that's sort of how you got into judging.
Yeah. And I was always frequenting
Mm.
events, always,
Yep.
just to be
That's
there,
good.
just to cipher, just,
Yep.
see everybody.
Support.
And since I was not attached to a crew that was entering
Mm.
most of the time, then that made me a
Mm-mm.
good candidate to be on the
Yeah,
judging
yep.
chair.
Back then, like
Yeah.
when you first started judging, what was sort of like
Yeah.
your mentality back then? Um,
Bro, like
yeah.
we were just thrown in there.
Yep.
Like
Sure.
nobody told you anything. Just go sit there, make decisions.
Yep.
So the thing is, you go and sit there, and you're like, oh, okay, so I can judge, like choose who I like the best,
Yep.
or
Yep.
like it's like the round for round wasn't even common sense. People would just watch the entire battle,
Yep.
especially crew battles,
Yep.
and then count down in the end, like, yo, our time is up,
Yep.
and people start all throwing moves at the same time,
Yeah.
and then you make up your minds. So
Yeah.
so it took me a while to really understand. Like I thought I'm just here to pick a winner, you know,
Mm.
and I think something that's still present in today's attitude towards judging is I thought I'm here to gatekeep. So
Mm.
I'm here to preserve the style of dance that I think
Yep.
should be preserved,
Yep.
which is a very scary approach
Mm.
because this can lead to you choosing people that didn't really deserve to win, but you think
Yep.
their approach was better.
Yeah.
And then, you're on a slippery slope because that means every
Mm-mm.
time you have a different judging panel, you have a different outcome, which
Yep.
is still the case in you know,
Yeah.
a lot of
Smaller
events.
jams today. No, for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
so
So
you'd.
I had to. I learned a lot during like all those years about
Mm.
improving my judging,
Yep.
and
So, like
yeah, broad.
2006 until
Yeah,
basically now, you were pretty much consistently judging. I'm curious to know how did you sort of end up on the judging committee for the Olympics, and maybe before that, did you have something to do with sort of making the Trivium system itself? Like, did Storm sort of consult you, or like, were you sort of involved in that group?
I saw it. I saw the whole development from
Mm.
pretty close by.
Yeah.
The early thinking tanks that were there for Trivium.
Yep.
I wasn't really part of it because this was an initiative that came from the Undisputed group.
Yep.
They sort of decided that it was a bit weird that somebody who won Red Bull could call himself the world champ, even if that was the only
Mm.
one-on-one that the person would enter. So they decided we need to combine all one-on-one competitions and then create like a fair way of judging it. So
Mm-mm.
we actually have sort of a ranking, so to speak.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can call yourself the undisputed champion, and
Yep.
then that went hand in hand with what is the fairest way of judging. And then I
Mm.
think so. What basically got me really close to the fire was
Mm.
I started working for IBE in 2010,
Okay.
and then
Sure.
from the first year on, Tyrone, who's the main organizer,
Yep.
like I was ready for whatever, but he told me like, yo,
Mm-mm.
I actually need somebody with some brains, and we always had like good talks.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
said, yo, can you do you think you can host the talk shows, because they usually last for over an hour, and I'm the main
Mm.
programmer, so it doesn't really make sense for me to be stuck in a talk show. But he
Yeah.
really
Yeah. For
cared
real.
about talk.
Mm.
And for me, there was a thing, like every time I attended one, I was like, oh snap, these people are all making statements, but like they're not coherent, like it's all
Mm-mm.
contradicting each other, and people walk away confused. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can add something to that. And then I
Yep.
think one of the first years, 2010, we had Dizzy as a guest explaining about the hour system. And then already
Yes.
Storm was in the audience, Bouterse was in the audience, and everybody was
That's good.
firing
Yep.
questions at him. Like, and then from that moment, also in Holland, we had people that like Nick and Yin. They developed Cosin system, which basically was judging by hands but digital. So they had like right, left, and a tie,
Yep. Sure.
and then you just had to press a button, only so they can show it on a screen, right? And all of these things sort of triggered my questions, like this still didn't feel right, like
Yep.
because I have a philosophy background, so for me,
Okay.
fact that I studied like for 16 years philosophy, but I started to realize like, wow, we actually are doing competitions for what, like 4 or 5 decades
Yes.
without knowing what we value in dance, what makes you win and lose. We never
Never
articulated it.
figured it
We
out.
think we all know it intuitively.
Yes.
So these systems were trying this, and then every year consecutively, I also programmed talk shows, and we for some reason always had a talk show about judging. So I
Yep.
think after the one of Digi, we had a talk show that was called "Do We Need Judging Systems?" So the pros and
Okay.
cons of
Yep.
a system.
Yep.
There was like a lot of fears that systems would change the way we dance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we had the dialectics of creating a system, which was really Storm's title, of course, where he dove in and we were already having the blueprint of Trivium ready, which was a very deep one, a very philosophical one.
Yeah.
I had one with Nick and Just Do It, Nick and Renegade,
Yep.
which had as a title "No More Ties."
Oh.
And
Yep.
that was a statement that Renegade would always make, like, yo, we
Yep.
gotta stop giving ties simply because we don't know what they mean. It's unfair for the judges, or for the
For dancers.
competitors.
Yeah.
It creates laziness on the side of the judges. Like, oh yeah, one more round. I didn't really pay attention. One more round. And we came to the conclusion we didn't even know what a time meant. Do you all of a sudden have two votes now?
Yep.
Do you really think they're equally good?
Yeah.
Are you saying I'm not judging? You guys figure it out. Like, what are you doing? You know.
Are these
So
talks? Are these online? Like, can they be found
some of
on
them,
YouTube?
yeah, but they're long. Yeah, I think some
Sure.
are recorded, some are online, but yeah, they were never really edited because like
Yep.
it takes a lot of work to edit like a long
Yeah.
ass talk. But these talks really always sharpened my mind on the development, and then to make it more concrete. As soon as so after Youth Olympics, I was not involved with the 2018. But after that, they came, of course, to IBE again, talk about the experience. And then as soon as Paris was confirmed, they of course started sending out
Or
information that,
invitations.
like we're opening up. Well, it's to open for everybody and open training for judges to
Yeah.
be
Yep.
trained in the system that they
Yep.
will use for Paris, right?
Yeah.
So I signed up immediately, and I was already quite familiar with the system because I picked the brain of both Storm and
Yep.
Renegade a lot during those talks. So
So were
that's basically
these
why, yeah, I'm a bit closer to.
these talks and like open like courses, I guess if you want to call them that, were
Yeah,
they sort of organized and sanctioned by the WDSF, or like who is
yeah.
behind them?
I mean, so they both Storm and Renegade were sort of hired by WDSF to take care of the judging part.
Yep.
And so they had to. It was sort of a rust job towards Youth Olympics because that's when
Yes.
they really had like
Had to get it
House and
into.
Cooper, I think, on top of that to really check if they had a system that could count as a trustworthy, sort of legit system to judge the sports, right?
Yep.
So as soon as that was done, so they had Trivium in place, which
This
was like
is
sort of the
yeah. So this is 2018 Youth Olympic Games,
this
and
2018,
then
yeah. And
breaking
then they started.
gets around
Sorry.
2021. Is it breaking gets confirmed for the Paris Olympics? I'm just trying to put it all
No,
like in
already
timeline.
earlier,
Yeah. Uh,
2019. 2019
okay.
already.
Yeah.
It was like because it was such a success in Argentina.
Yep.
So yeah, then basically it was already clear, like, okay, we need to get ready.
Sure.
So they were asked to train judges
Yep.
because this was super important,
Yep.
and this started a new process that we never saw in breaking before, where you're not just getting picked on your legendary status, but they were really looking for people that were
Yeah.
still open to actually
Yep.
maybe change their views, learn a
Yeah.
system, and
Yep.
because you need coherence in the way they use them. Because in the end, you have an iPad with with faders.
Mm, mm.
And if you don't know what you use those faders for, and you just start guessing,
Yeah, then
then there's
it's
no coherence in the results, right? So
yeah.
the training part was super new, and
Mm,
this
mm,
is what happened, and maybe where it went a bit wrong also is
mm,
that some of the people that were already judging a lot,
mm, mm,
they were like, huh, I need to be trained. So they basically
mm,
kept
mm.
their distance, or they waited before they stepped in. And a lot of people that were interested in judging and also interested in this approach,
Yep.
they just signed up. But there was still requirements, like you had to
Yeah.
be at least like a certain like a big
Yeah.
quite a massive amount of time you should have been involved in
In
breaking,
breaking. Yep.
and I think 10 years or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also
Did they care about?
experience,
Yeah.
you had to send in a list
Yep. Like
of
a
all the,
resume, like applying for a job,
yeah,
basically. Yeah.
yeah,
I have to know as
yeah.
well. Did you guys have to do like assessments and like actual like tests or like written tests to get qualified in the end?
Before you even would be qualified to take the course, you mean, or as a, after
Uh,
the course?
in the course, like in the midst
Yeah, no,
of training.
the first course was 2 days, so one day theory and one day already practice. So really
Yeah.
apply your theory,
Yep.
which would mean like collectively in Zoom calls, watch battles,
Mm.
and then they would ask
Yep.
how you would vote,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then based on, and this was big groups, right, that were like
Mm.
sometimes I think close to 200, maybe 160 people
Oh
in a
no way!
Zoom,
Wow,
and they would
sounds crazy.
basically like they would see who would go what way and ask deeper, like, okay, so explain
Yep.
yourself, your decision. And this was super informative because
Mm.
then it brought to light that a lot of people will give you answers like, yeah, I felt like this, or yeah, I personally like this better. I'm like, no, 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 no. In the
Mm.
terms of
Mm.
the judging framework, how would you
Yeah.
explain your choice? And
Yep.
then it became a different thing,
Yeah.
you know.
Sure. So, what
So
type of battles were you judging, anyways? Like, were you just watching like Red Bull battles and
um
stuff to
during
practice?
Congress,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there was like a lot of, it was mainly live streamed or at least online battles, but it could be anything, silverback,
Mm. Yep.
uh, big events with good, and usually with just a good angle that doesn't
Yep.
switch too much, so you know which
That's
side is
good.
which.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I have to know.
but high
Mm.
level mainly.
Yep. So how did they end up going from about what 160 to 200 candidates down to the final nine?
Okay, so
Mm.
over the years, a lot of things happened. This pool, like they have a few rules from the World Dance Sport Federation, where you first of all need to become a member.
Mm-hmm.
They need to pay for the congress.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you still don't even know if you pass. Then if you pass, you need to every year pay, I
Yep.
think, 100 Swiss francs to keep your license
Yep.
activated. And as soon as the system changes, or they do a new congress, and you have to sign up for that as well. So
Mm.
this process kept on going because they made some changes along the way.
Yep. Over the years.
And then they had, right before the OQS,
Mm.
they they had two congresses, which were the live congresses, because the first period happened during COVID, so it was all
Yes.
online.
Yep.
So then they had a Porto Congress and one in Shanghai,
Mm.
or no, in Hong Kong, and they said only the people that actually show up at these live congresses
Oh,
will
go
be
in the running.
considered. Yeah,
Holy
so
crap.
that
Okay.
created a pool of people that were
Ah.
now had, like, and there was even new people that still needed to get
Yep.
their license A, because they had two levels, like
Yes.
level
Yep.
B and level A.
And did
And then so
you?
that, and this pool,
Yeah.
there they chose it then ended up being 10 for, or 9 for Hong Kong, for Shanghai, and then 10 for
Mm.
Budapest. So then they had 19 judges in total to choose from for Paris.
Did you end up having to? Did the judges have to pay out of pocket to go to these congresses?
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and that was quite a thing, because like to
Mm.
fly to
Because
Porto was pretty expensive,
yeah, and if
and I was like,
it's
yo, and the Congress
mm,
was like, I think, 300 euros, which
yeah,
was more than the online one.
yep,
And then yeah, so we ended up renting a Airbnb, and I flew to
mm,
Lisboa, instead of Porto, because like
yep,
Porto would set me back from Amsterdam even 500
yeah,
euros. So I'm like,
yep, direct
this is a
flights.
bit much.
Mm.
Yeah.
So it's
I
like,
like it
yeah.
was a hard call for me because I was like,
Mm.
no man, like
Yeah.
really to learn something that I probably already like know from
Mm.
A to
You
Z.
studied. Mm.
But it ended up being good because like the people that came out, it was
Yep.
like people like Cujo, like some Americans, Bonita was there,
Yep.
and some smart heads that actually would really raise the level of the
Mm.
discussion, which
Yeah.
for me in general, just to get that out of the way, like that has been my biggest takeaway from the whole journey, like
Mm.
the meeting of international heads that are all in their own country, like really deeply involved,
Mm.
that the exchanges we had, like that for me, that's something that's super valuable,
Yeah. Interesting.
just building knowledge on top of knowledge, so to
Yep.
speak. That was like invaluable.
Mm. I have to ask.
Yeah,
So, with the system, right? You said that it had undergone some changes. When exactly
yeah.
did this occur,
So
and what was the
basically, what
change?
happened is it was Trivium for the first part of the qualification process. So
Yep.
I judged I judged with it two times. One time in Vis Montpellier 2022, and then
Yep.
Manchester that was still 2022, I think, or maybe beginning 2023.
Mm.
But in 20 no, yeah. So and in 2022 there was some pressure from the breaking community on WDSF, where
Mm.
they were writing letters on how they made their decisions for braking, because their highest decision
Mm.
making organ is like they call it the presidium. It has like voted in members, and they were all ballroom. So that
Yes.
created some worry on the side of braking, where they were
Yep.
like, "Yo, there's a lot of expertise in braking.
Yep.
So please, is there a way that we can have a bit more say in making this a big success for everyone?" And that's where sort of like some friction started,
Mm.
because the World Dance Sport Federation is pretty rigid in the way it's structured,
Mm.
So all this felt for them like, yo, you're trying to sort of get your way in here, but that's not
Mm.
how it works, and we have rules and we have systems, and it's pretty top
Yeah.
down. So this created some friction, and I think Storm and Renegade got caught up in the mix as being like
Yes.
people that really pushed
I
for,
was
because
gonna.
like it's all people that care so much about
Yeah.
the best
It's their
representation of
system.
break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so then I don't know what switched, but within the World Dance Sport Federation, they felt like, okay, you guys are a bit of pain in the ass. You're trying to a
No
hostile
fucking way.
takeover. That's how they regarded it.
Yeah.
So they're like, we need to get things in our own control. And then they created their
Damn.
own group that later was called the Core Group,
Yep.
and these were mainly from international promoters.
Yeah.
So they had good connections in the breaking scene, but the expertise of judging was not on the level
Yeah.
of Storm and Renegade. But what happened is they got the question like, okay, can we adapt this system, and can you l- put an ear in the scene and ask if they actually like the system, the current system? And in my opinion, they just didn't give the breaking scene enough time to get used to this sort
Mm.
of system. They were not
Yeah.
used to any system,
Yeah. Yeah.
and there were like all kinds of weird complaints like, yo, the people are watching on their ipad too long,
Yeah.
they cannot see the battle, or
Yep.
it's too complex. Yeah, because you didn't do the training, you don't even know what they're looking at,
Yeah.
and what was it was super intuitive, super fast, right? So
Yep.
and then they ended up simplifying a
Mm.
system that had six sliders and a
Yep.
bunch of shortcut buttons into five what they called categories,
Oh.
which
Okay.
already was a problem because
Yep.
it's not a
It's not
category.
the
A
same
category is
system.
something that you need to meet,
Mm. Mm.
but it should just be like qualities that you can that you compare, and that
Yeah.
should always be there.
Yep.
But anyway, so they switched it around
Yep.
23, right before Rio, and they
Mm.
had a
Okay.
7 hour congress, and they had invited people in there that had nothing to do with the earlier process of
The early
developing it,
system. Yep.
but they were regarded like globally, of course, regarded
Yep.
as OGs. Like Mauricio was in there, Ken Swift was in there,
Mm. Mm.
Moy was in there, Kid Glide was in there,
Okay. Sure.
and they gave all like almost like an hour workshop on their view of judging,
Mm.
or just of breaking in
Yep.
general. But it didn't feel coherent. Like they didn't
Yep.
like like coordinated with each other. It was just a 7 hour sit of a lot of
Yep.
information and stories that you were like really try to wrap your head
Yep.
around it. Like, how is this applying to the way I should judge? Because I'm here to train and learn how to judge, right? So
Yep.
this for me created a lot of friction, but I used it then the first time in Rio,
Mm.
and
How did you
then
feel about it? Because if I want to rewind a little bit, because I'm not sure if anyone For most
Yeah.
people who are watching, they might not know what the Trivium system
Oh yeah.
is comprised of. To my understanding, it's
Yeah.
got, what is it? It's the mind, body, soul, and then
Yeah.
each of those has two subcategories within them,
Yeah.
which each account
Yeah.
for uh, some sort of percentage towards like a
Yeah. Yeah. They
final
had to
count.
come up with a percentage to make it all a
Mm.
hundred in total.
Yep.
But basically, like what it does, first of all, what I think is the most important thing you should take away from the system is it's
Mm.
comparative. So
That's
it's
good.
not a
Yeah.
point system. It's not looking for moves that you should execute. It's
Mm.
just telling you with every performance that you see, there's qualities that you can identify. And you can group them in roughly three
Mm.
domains.
Mm.
One is the physical aspect, the physical quality of your performance. That's where you really zoom in on what's the result of your physical training and conditioning, right?
Yep.
Like what is your body able to do, so to speak. So this is moves like athleticism,
Yeah.
physical control, spatial awareness, but also just technique and vocabulary and
Yep.
execution, right? So
Yep.
that's I think the
Physical. Yep.
most easy to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then they say there's always a part that we could describe as the artistic quality of your performance,
Yep.
which is what makes it breaking, because we
Mm.
always look for, who stands out as an individual, who brought
Mm-hmm.
something new to the table. So that's where we're looking for, like your own ideas, like what did you add to the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you stay within breaking, but did you take it a step further, or did you keep it very basic?
Yep.
What kind of personality did you present on stage? Like, is
Mm.
this something that we remember? Because that, like I've seen, is filled with characters, and you don't want to take
Mm.
that away. So it's a quality that's equally important, right? So
Yep.
that's being judged there. And then I think
Yep.
the for most people, the most vague one is the soul, because what is the soul?
Mm.
But in the system, it's called interpretive quality, and it really focuses on your ability to apply your preparation physically and
Mm.
artistically to the music. So it
Yep.
has everything to do with music and with your composition, the way you structure your round, but also how it connects
Mm. Mm.
to the music that's playing. Since it's a freestyle dance, it's not choreography.
Mm.
The skill to be able to adapt, it's super
Yep.
important, and to react, right? So this has a lot to do with like your states, your
Mm.
your your like your confidence almost also. But
Mm-hmm.
the
Like
better you connect to
performance.
the music,
Mm.
the better your impact of your round will be,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So that's why also there's musicality and performance. Like your performance get better when you follow the music.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's so so basically, and they had two faders for everything, but you also had a lot of shortcuts for things that you really, as a judge, you see, oh, this happens in the moment. For instance, a crash or a bite, or yo,
Mm-hmm.
this person has super good form or
Yep.
very high confidence. You could put a plus or a minus
Yep.
um,
To like
during the
this. Yeah.
round of that person, right? So at first it was a bit like a lot, because people were not even used to dividing the dance in these three
Mm.
components. But the more you got used to it, the more sense it made. Like, oh snap, because you could really identify, like, this person is totally missing musicality. He's
Mm.
like a robot. Like, he's good prepared physically
Yep.
and nice concept, but or you would see the opposite, like, oh snap,
Yep.
so many nice ideas, so good at the music, but yo, do some training, man, because you're sloppy, you're crassy, like your technique is nowhere. So
Yeah.
it really helped you to identify weaknesses,
Yep.
and that's also another thing, a big fear that the whole system. That's why I think I became sort of like an advocate for it, because I'm like,
Mm.
wow, this makes so much sense.
Yep.
Because the fear was that as soon as the people here heard the word breaking and Olympics, like first of all, there was like two
Mm.
big problems. Right? Like, no, it's not a sport. The same
Yeah.
would happen to the skateboard community.
Mm.
Like, no, we're a lifestyle. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
winning. But come on, like, we're very competitive. We
Yep.
just didn't know based on what.
Did you?
So because
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah,
Did you ever
so
use? Did you ever use the bite button?
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I did. There was one. It
Yeah.
was in Montpellier when
Yeah.
we judged, and it was a guy, and he did the Robin backdrop where he walks in the air and
Yes, and he does the suicide.
he just and it's a high impact move. So you're
Yep.
really trying to take shine with somebody else's creation. And both me and Storm pressed the bite, and then it
Yeah.
was like provided it was prelim ciphers,
Yep.
right? So you had 5 judges here, five
Yep.
there, and Storm was the head judge. So he was looking at the statistic later
Yep.
and said, "Oh snap! If one more judge would have pushed
Yeah,
by,
he's get
then we had the
disqualified, right?
majority, and we yeah, well, not like he would lose that round
Oh, okay,
automatically. He wouldn't
okay.
be disqualified, but it
Oh,
would be
okay.
like a
That's what I
warning,
thought.
like yo.
Yeah, because I
So,
was
but they
reading it
took that
like,
out. They took that out of the what they replaced it with,
yeah, yeah,
because when they changed it, it became like super simple. There was like just five.
yeah. Tell me about that. What were the five
Yeah.
like
So
categories?
it's
And
it's still like they basically kept the comparative part because this comparative part, just to really get this point, drive
mm,
this point home. This is something that a lot of people still do not really understand. That they think when the first person goes out, he's already getting scores or what points. No, like that
mm.
he just sets a benchmark, and it's up to the second dancer to level it or to dominate in certain qualities, right? So what you end up having is that because you use sliders that
Mm.
start in the middle, like crossfaders,
Yep.
you don't move them during the first rounds. Like as soon as the second dancer goes out, that's when you
Mm.
start making the comparison, and you're like, okay, physically, yeah, hell yeah, the
Yep.
first dancer was stronger, but artistically, I don't know, man. Like
Mm.
he's bringing a lot to the table, and the other guy kept it basic. So, bam, before you know it, and if the creative guy in this instance is also more musical, he might win it on those two
Yep.
categories, even though for the audience he clearly won on the physical or lost. Yeah, like he
Yep.
won on the physical aspect, but he can still lose
Yep.
because he's up against like some creative musical
Did
dude.
they still have the like the bite and the crash
No,
subtracted
so they
buttons?
took out all the shortcuts because they thought it was very complicated or whatever. Like they
Oh,
were
no
listening to
way.
feedback. Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah. So that was all gone all of a sudden. And then
Mm. Mm.
what we ended up with was five, which is already very problematic because you cannot map it out to the three domains anymore. So
Yeah.
the domains they were also,
Yep.
yeah, was a bit shaky
Do you?
because now
Yeah.
it was like to name you the five, it was
Mm.
technique,
Mm-hmm.
vocabulary, execution, originality, musicality. And I also
Yep.
use this system a lot. So I was in my head sort of still mapping it out to the three domains,
Yep.
but if you think first face value, it looks like wait, there's three faders you actually use that
Mm.
are predominantly physical orientated,
Yep.
and originality is now artistic. Like it's the
Mm.
replacement of the artistic quality, but
Mm.
originality I feel is a part of creativity.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
creative people that are not original, so I
Yep.
felt
It's more
that
to
was
it.
already limiting.
Mm.
Execution became the most vague word because it wasn't
Mm.
in the trivium before.
Yep.
It was a shortcut in the trivium in
Yep.
between physical quality and interpretive quality.
Yep.
But execution now is being stretched and used
Uh.
differently by every judge
Yep.
because it stands for, of course, whether you crash or not, but
Yep.
also use it for storytelling and
Yep.
how you present things and composition.
Mm.
And then the last one is musicality, which
Yep.
of course, yeah, it's only musicality.
Yep.
But you feel like vocabulary and technique,
Yep.
yeah, they're clearly physical.
Yep.
And oh yeah, and the latest update they changed it this year is
Oh,
they have
okay.
a
Yeah.
level B as well, right? The level B always continued to stay during the whole process towards the Olympics. Is
Yep.
continue to stay threefold, which is also a system that we use a lot, or on national level, almost every country used it to prepare their athletes during
Yep.
the ranking process. And it only has three faders,
Mm.
so physical, artistic, and interpretive quality.
Okay. So it's
So this
simplified,
stayed the
basically.
same also in the rule book for WDSF
Mm.
until the beginning of this year, where they changed it for two faders.
Oh shit. Okay.
And now it's only physical and
And what artistic?
artistic.
Uh.
So, so
Shit.
music, like it's
It doesn't
gone,
matter.
the soul is gone,
Yeah. Yeah.
like and and the weird thing is, what they did is with the five sliders, they divided it over two sliders. So in physical, there's technique, vocabulary, and execution
Mm.
for not crashing. In artistic, there's creativity, musicality they put in there,
Oh. Okay.
and then execution again.
Yep.
So execution they split in two. So one time they use it for, and that shows also how vague
Oh.
this word is.
Okay. Yep.
So one time it's used for for your being clean, and
Yep.
for the other time is used for your composition and
Interesting.
storytelling. So
Okay. So sweet. So now I know how sort of the judging system has evolved. We might have skipped. Let's maybe
evolve or
rewind.
how do you
Yeah.
call it?
Sorry. Yeah. Gone back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Devolved.
Oh,
Let's maybe fast forward a little bit from Montpellier to Paris, 2024.
yeah.
So we have the
Mhm.
9 judges, and I gotta ask,
Yeah.
surely you didn't have to pay for your own flight to Paris, right? Like at that point, you would have got paid
No,
for something,
now
right?
every gig you get, you of course get paid,
Yeah.
and you get your flight, you get your
Yep.
hotel, everything. No, of course, and actually their pay was decent. Like it
Okay.
was good. Just like Red
Yep.
Bull raised the bar with judging. Yeah, and I think
Okay.
they even raised it above the level of what they have normally within the WDSF, because there's like,
Oh,
we should
good.
not forget, judging was never also in when I started. It was never a celebrity job. Like
Yeah.
it's that's what it became. Like, oh, look at this guy sitting there because
Yep.
he's a legend. Like we pay him his flowers by giving him that seat, and he
Yeah.
gets good treatment and he gets money. But before it was just like, yo, we have a competition.
You got.
Somebody needs to judge. So you
Okay.
and you go sit on the chair. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and for a lot of people, it's still like that. You know, like
Mm.
it's just something that needs to be
Okay.
done, but it's
Yeah.
not something that you're like can be like, yo, look at me
Okay.
judging. You know.
Sure. Did
Yeah.
you so okay at the Olympics? Were you did you have to go independently, or were you able to be like were you part of like Team Netherlands? Like what was that uh,
Actually, no, that was
process
also
like?
very secretively because
Mm.
so I judged the what's it called, OQS in Budapest,
Mm.
um, and then that which was after Shanghai. And
Yep.
first of all, OQS Budapest was insane. Like that for
Mm.
me felt like, okay, we're getting somewhere. We have a right
Oh.
representation of breaking, because the
Yep.
stage was like Red Bull round. The atmosphere was hype.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
had flag be, and flag was off limits. You could play whatever,
Yep.
which made a
Oh, it's good.
huge difference,
Yep.
because that for me was the biggest worry. Like if we don't present our dance
Yeah. Yeah.
with the correct, we
Yep.
still give the wrong impression, right?
Sure.
And they had DJT from Japan, and they were killing it. So the energy
Mm.
that brought out of the dance, it was insane.
Yep.
But anyway, so I had good hopes for Paris, right?
Yep.
And then they combined, and then they started doing the process about, okay, we have 19 judges,
Yep.
so because they had a reserve judge in Budapest,
Yep.
uh, that we can choose from. And then the whole process that they made,
Mm.
which is like, it's not public, but they need to have representation from continents. They need
Mm-hmm.
to have
Yep.
representation from gender, from race, even. You know, so
Okay.
then I got a letter like, yo, you're nominated, but for now,
Yeah.
like, also reserve. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay, whatever, and we will let you know like a
Yep.
week before or something.
Damn.
And you have
Okay.
to sign
Yep.
a
Oh,
non-disclosure
NDA.
agreement.
Damn.
Right? So I signed all that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then like I think less than a week before, they say, yeah, the nomin like
Damn.
the we
You
have
didn't.
the
Yeah, you didn't know that you were
no,
judging for the Olympics until like what a couple of weeks before.
a week or 2 weeks before,
Wow.
because
No
they were
fucking
so
way.
afraid that you would communicate it, and then it's
Yes.
sensitive for corruption or
Yep.
whatever. But the question is it really sensitive to for corruption? Like if you
Yeah.
get bought, then what can you do as if you're one of nine in a panel? But anyway, so
Yeah. Okay.
it's all good. Like they made it all very official,
Yep.
and then last minute was like, yo, you reserve. I'm like, oh, what? So what does
Yep.
that mean? And they couldn't really give me good info on what
Mm.
it was, but I'm like, okay, yeah. So you need to be
Mm.
there, and you don't get paid unless we need you. I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh.
cool.
Shit.
But it was like
Yeah.
I was just weighing things, and I'm like, okay, I already
Mm.
blocked it in my agenda. Like, okay, because it's quite a big happening, and we've been
Yes.
working
You might as
towards it
well.
for
Yeah.
like over 6 years, and so I'm like, if this is my
Mm.
way to actually be present,
Yep.
it's all good. And if I need to work, cool, I make sure I'm ready, right?
Yep.
So, and then I got some fake information about, yeah, you can
Mm.
watch also other sports with your accreditation. You can only
Oh.
not be at the,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Were
So
you
I'm
allowed
like,
to watch
okay,
other
that's
sports? No.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay. Did
And
you watch
but you're
anything?
not allowed at actually not much,
Yeah.
because I was on
Much.
standby all the
Yep.
time, right? So, but then they had like something vague, like, yeah, you cannot be at the technical area or whatever. I'm like,
The
yeah, I
like the
don't care.
warm
I
up
don't
area,
care.
is that the technical area? Is that what they're referring
Yeah,
to?
or where
Yeah.
the just behind, sort of like the backstage or something, right?
Okay.
I'm like, cool. I thought that was like they meant it for other sports. I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, I don't need to be there. I'm
Yeah, you
just
don't
going
care.
to watch.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, so I wrote back like, oh, all good, as long as I can be at the
Yeah.
breaking.
Yeah.
And then later it became clear, like, no, no, you misunderstood. Also for the breaking, you cannot be
Yeah.
there. I'm
Okay.
like, oh, okay, yeah, I think
Mm.
that's cool as well, because you want to be keep it secret that I'm a judge, but okay, as long as I have good seats, yeah, you'll be in the VIP area. So this is a pretty
Mm.
weird. I came there, the VIP area turned out to be all the way up on one side behind a
Oh.
pole, and I couldn't see the stage. And I'm like, wait, this is a joke, right? Because you want me to jump
Yeah.
in as soon as somebody falls out, which means I need to be actively judging the
Yeah.
whole
Right there.
time.
Mm.
Otherwise, it's not consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but this is the only seats, and they ended up asking me to buy a seat near
Oh.
under the
Damn.
stage. I'm like, ooh, this becomes very weird now.
Yeah.
So I think there was a lot of stress. There was like a lot of
Yeah.
things that and I don't know. That was
Yep.
not a very pleasant experience, but
Mm-mm.
yeah, that's just I don't know.
Were
That comes
you
with the process.
able to? So I'm assuming that you're not able to talk to like the athletes leading up to the
No,
Olympics. Were you allowed to talk to your other like colleagues about
of
like
course.
breaking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, this is something that also is pretty new for breaking, right?
Mm.
That the whole introduction of the concept of conflict of interest
Mm.
was something that I think most of us never really thought about.
Yep.
But the fact that in a lot of cultural events, there's competitors judging their friends that they were,
Yep. I
and
mean,
then the next
yeah.
weekend they are competing and their friends
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they're judging to judge. This is something that in sports normally,
Mm.
no, it's a no, and it's
Yep.
it's it's really sensitive for scandals because like
Mm.
it's just a bad look as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So
That makes
even
sense. Yep.
judges talking among each other, sitting at the chair,
Yep.
discussing before they vote,
Mm.
no,
Not
no.
allowed.
Look, so,
Yep.
and at first it looked mad strict, like, yo, hand in your phone.
Yes. Can't
What?
even
Hand
like
in my phone.
smile. Right.
No, but like hand in your phone.
Yeah.
Like no distractions, no
Yeah.
communications with nobody. I'm
Yep.
like,
Yep.
oh, okay, this is different. Distance between the chairs of the judges. So
Oh.
you're really
Okay.
there by yourself, bro. Like it's not like, oh, what did you think? Or
Yep.
oh, jump out your chair.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. You gotta like keep it
always
light.
you know?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but and
Okay.
so this it might seem extreme, but yeah.
Can't even enjoy the Snoop Dogg performance.
I mean that's cool because like yeah,
Okay.
or you think like you like
Yep.
so you like that the G funk.
So
No, so
yeah.
that's new. Yeah, that was new.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the
and for
Olympics.
me, I
Yep.
think just to
Mm.
finish it, like it was really weird that weekend because I was
Mm.
moving freely. I wasn't like because the official judges
Mm.
because they didn't need me because they were complete, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were like all grouped together,
Yeah.
being backstage,
Oh.
transported
Okay.
from the
Yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was not even in their hotel,
Yep.
so I was mingling with like was
Mm.
probably even more dangerous than when you would have put me with the other judges and
Yep.
just like okay, if you don't have to work, you don't have to work,
So
but
yeah,
at least
because you're reserved.
close.
So does that mean someone pulled out at the end, or like what did that mean?
No, like they just flew me in just in case
Yep.
somebody would miss a flight or
Yep.
get sick during the
Yes. Yeah. The
competition or
competition.
turn out to be mad corrupt,
Oh. Okay. Yep.
you know. But they didn't need me, so I ended up just being able to watch in the audience and kick it with
Oh.
everybody,
Shit. Shit.
So I was
Okay.
not on stage
Yep.
at
Yep.
any point.
Okay. So I'm curious to know like, okay, once Phil wins his gold, once Army wins her gold, Olympics
Yeah,
it's done. The day is done. How is
yeah,
everyone feeling? What's sort of the general vibe? Is everyone allowed to like chill out now, or like what was the go with that?
yeah. I mean, look, once again, like I have a different experience because I could just go straight in mingle with everybody again.
Mm-hmm.
Like the judges would go probably back to their hotel,
Yep.
have
Yep.
their private celebration. But I ended up seeing them at the after party where Phil was because
That's nice.
Little
Yeah.
Chow
Yeah.
rented like
That's
a
good.
club.
Mm-mm. Yep.
Phil was there like drinking his bubbles, showing off his gold medal.
were
Flea was in
there
the club.
were there other athletes there, like
Some of the athletes were there,
from other
but also
sports?
some of the people that flew themselves out. So like
Yeah.
Taekwon, Free Rock Roll in the club, they had like
Nice.
their group, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and all the judges were there. Some of the judges, like
Mm-mm.
some of the judges that were not judging
On the
Olympics
committee.
but
Yep.
were part of the process were
Yep.
there.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
yeah,
Okay. Cool. So generally, everyone's pretty happy. The day after the Olympics. But I
yeah.
guess if we were to fast forward maybe 3 days after the Olympics, maybe everyone's feeling not so happy
No, it was
after
already on
particular
Saturday, bro. It
Saturday.
was already Friday evening.
Not even
Already
a day
Friday
of happiness.
evening that it
Yep.
started, and that people were having the discussion on, oh,
On
what the
Raygun.
fuck?
Yep.
Oh, what's the media doing? But also,
Okay.
what do we think about it?
Yeah. So what was that like for you on the floor?
I mean, I shared a hotel with Manny, who was doing commentary or writing
Mm.
articles. Manny from UK, and he was like, "Yo, like,
Mm.
this is not good." And
Shit.
also
Yeah.
like let's first of all make sure that, or let's make clear that when breaking was introduced, the general audience reaction was like, "That's not a sport. That's that thing they did in the 80s with a big radio and a
Mm.
cardboard and white gloves and doing the worm." And
Yep.
then those people were all told, "No, you missed like 40 years of developments. Like
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
they're doing amazing shit. Wait till you see it. Right? Wait till
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see it." So now here you have the whole media and everybody anticipating on seeing this
Mm.
next level of breaking, and
Mm.
they end up seeing the kangaroo, and then somebody zooms in on this, and they're like, "Wait, this is breaking in
Yeah.
Olympics. This is the
Yep.
opposite of what we expected, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of the reactions had to do, and the ridicule had to do with that anticipation on, we're going to see people fly from the states all the way to the moon, right? A
Yes.
bit like what Euro 10 gave them the next day.
Yeah.
That's what the audience was
I
waiting
did see
for.
some clips of that. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
So,
mm.
and then of course you get a very, very limited view on what actually took place
Mm.
there,
Mm.
because you have only the media as your information,
Yep.
on social media even for most people.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
when I was there, I didn't even take notice. Like I knew the
Yep.
process. I knew every continent needs representation.
Mm. Mm.
Some countries have a crazy amount of qualifiers before you actually end up at
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
national,
Yep.
your continental games. But in the case of Australia,
Oceania.
which is like
Yep.
Oceania, which is like, yeah, New Zealand, Australia, and a
Mm.
bunch of islands, I think, like they only, I think they had one really big championship. They didn't have like a million lead up
Yeah.
qualifier
I
events,
was
right?
there. I was at the qualifier. So
Oh, you were even there. Oh, snap.
yeah. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, and okay, so you're the one that can now say on camera that she won fair and square, probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That,
She. I can explain it all. But yeah.
yeah.
she.
No,
She
I
won
mean, so can I.
with the
I looked
WDSF.
into
Yep.
it, but like she showed up, and for what I understood in Australia, there was
Mm.
also a divide in people that wanted to keep it underground, didn't feel like, yo, breaking should be a sport, so they didn't even enter. So
Mm.
all good. Like our expectation was the continent of Africa also had very bad
It was the
representation
same.
of the
Yeah.
continent,
Mm.
because it was mad last minute. It was all the way up in Morocco, so South
Yep.
Africa had to travel like for a few days and get funds to actually make it
Yeah.
out. So
Yep.
it ended up not being a good representation of the continent. So now you have this system where they do the first sort of,
Mm.
filter, which is the round robin, and she's in there with people like logistics. Like,
Yeah.
what do you
Yep.
expect? So
No, for
yeah, I
sure.
think here and there she got one vote for originality, but that didn't show up in the red and the blue votes,
Mm.
the
Mm.
end result, right? So
Yep.
so yeah, I mean, it was what we expected, but it got zoomed into so
Yeah.
much that it
Yep.
overshadowed the whole freaking Saturday,
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, I have to say, like, from like an Australian perspective, no one from our scene was gonna expect her to like, no one would have expected that outcome. Like, I guess maybe a lot of us knew that she was gonna get like absolutely smoked, but
Yeah,
no one knew that she was gonna like
but the
become
power of the media
viral
is
sensation overnight. Yeah,
monster,
no one would
bro.
have been able to predict this.
No,
Isn't that
no, but
crazy?
like I think when you put it in perspective of
Mm,
what the general expectation of the general audience was, then
mm,
yeah, you could have anticipated on it,
okay.
you know? Because they expect, first of all, they feel all Olympic sports is the highest of the highest
Yep.
level of athletes.
Mm,
Now we're dealing with a dance that has an athlete side to it, but
mm,
also artist side and also a dancer side,
mm,
right? The dance and the art is not very well represented in the Olympics in general. It's there,
mm, mm.
but mainly it's always about performance.
Yep.
So I've also been told that Raygun didn't really have access to high performance training centers that much,
No,
or
not in
in
Australia. Mm,
very late stage,
mm,
like the infrastructure is just simply not there yet.
mm, mm.
So I don't blame her for choosing her strong point and saying, "Yo, I'm creative.
Yeah.
That's what makes me win battles. I come with my character."
Mm,
And then added on top the pressure of a big stage that she wasn't used to, because like
mm, mm.
can you find a big stage like that in
Yep.
Australia? Like you need to travel around to get that experience
Mm,
and to be ready for the pressure that puts on you.
yeah. Yep.
So nobody can blame her. It's
Mm,
just it's very unfortunate,
yeah.
but it ended up like a trauma for a lot of
Mm,
people in the breaking community.
yeah.
Like
Yep.
in the States, they don't even want to mention the Olympics anymore. They act like it never
Mm,
happened. Already when I spoke to one of the people from Team USA,
mm,
he was flying back to the US. And so somebody at the passport control asked, like, "Oh, you came from the Olympics, yeah? Oh,
mm,
for what sport?"
mm.
I think he said volleyball or he said another
Yeah.
sport. 'Cause he said, like, no, I don't want to again. And this is on mind you, this is
Yeah.
on Monday, Sunday.
Yep.
He didn't want to have explain again Reagan because he
Yeah.
knew everybody. That was already the talk of the town.
Yeah.
Did you
Sure.
see the film? No.
Yep. So when you got back to the Netherlands, was and then you go back to the Netherlands, what's the Dutch breaking scene like after this? Like, were you going to practice, and
I
did
mean,
people
we were
ask you?
pretty deeply involved because
Mm,
like we had Lee and Menno and
yep.
India all on the Olympic stage.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They killed it.
for us, it was really serious. Like we
Yep.
really embraced the fact that yo, they worked hard, they deserve that stage.
Yep.
So we were really on a sports level, like yo,
We're proud of
it's a
them.
shame that
Mm,
they didn't make it. We of course had
mm,
we felt a certain way about
yeah.
the extra battle against the girl
Yep.
from Afghan, and so this was just really on a level like, yeah, okay, he took that or he didn't take that, and then in general it was an experience. But mainly I think a lot of people felt like it was nothing new. Like we were used to it.
Mm,
Even when I was sitting there, it just felt like a Red Bull final with the same people on stage, same music playing, just a bit more
mm,
people in the crowd that
yep.
are not familiar with breaking,
Okay.
and a million eyes on television.
Yep.
So we were cool. We had the weekend after already
Mm,
IBE, which was titled "Back to the Culture," and
yeah.
Reikang even was there, and she
Yeah.
came as
Yeah.
a visitor,
Yeah.
super underground,
You know what's
but just
funny?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. People in
So
Australia last year, they were dressing up as Raygun for Halloween. I don't know if that happened in the Netherlands, but yeah,
I think like we have
it was a different.
carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's so interesting to know. Yeah, because I obviously wasn't there at the Olympics, so it's cool to know people's secondhand experiences. Because I
But
feel
there was a
like
split. There was a split with people
yeah,
that really sympathized with Reagan, like
mm,
feeling bad for her and being
yep,
like, "Yo, this is something that's normal for us, for people to approach breaking like this."
mm,
And
mm,
others that were very strict and, "No, if you're on that stage, you should take yourself serious as an
yeah,
athlete." As
yep,
he didn't, and blah blah blah. And then
yeah,
and then there was of course this conspiracy camp. No, it was
yep,
rigged.
yeah, yeah.
The coach, her husband
It
was her coach,
feels
and we
yeah,
bought that. Like yo, like I had to sort of how do you call
yeah,
it, like stop all the fires
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Damage control. Yep. Suddenly you had to like explain everything. Mm.
bro,
Okay,
yeah,
interesting. So dude, that's so funny. Okay, so moving on maybe a little bit from Raygun, like a year has passed now. I want to know
yeah,
where you're at with judging because, I mean, breaking 2026, going to the Youth
yeah,
Olympics next year, supposedly.
yeah,
Are
yeah, it's
you
gonna happen.
are you walking away from all WDSF affiliated
I
judging
mean,
stuff
for
now?
now I basically, like, I have a very strong opinion about what I feel is quality judging, and I
Yep.
felt we were making like great progress
Yes.
when it comes to these systems, because I'm like a purist in a sense where I care about representation of breaking. I know
Mm,
what breaking in the core, what it feels like, how it can inspire others, and if you're going to change that in any kind of way, it you know like I'm worried that there's misrepresentation. So when as soon as I saw, oh, we do comparative judging, no
mm,
points, no scores, no none of that crap where you basically tell people what to do, that's the
mm,
only logic thing.
yep.
But then as soon as the system got changed, I was already like, ah, snap, should
Mm,
I continue? Because
mm,
they're basically not getting it. They're not
yep.
getting it. They're actually changing things, trying to sort of make it look more like what they're used to in ballroom, but at the same time,
Mm,
just they
mm,
don't get it. And this became even stronger when the beginning of this year they got to this two slider thing, and I'm like, I'm out.
yep.
Like it's good.
Okay.
I had a dope ride.
Yep.
I really wanted to have to be involved all the way
Mm,
to
mm,
Paris, and also
yep.
trying and give my contributions with the
Yeah.
experience and knowledge that I can bring to the table.
Yep.
But when I felt like, okay, there's already other powers or interests
Mm,
that are
mm,
pulling in a certain direction,
yep.
I'm like, nah, I cannot really stand behind this anymore. So I'm
Yeah.
like, cool. Like I still hope for the best, but
Okay.
I think a few things should change to
Yep.
really get right representation. And I'm also not anti-sports because I still believe it opened up a lot of doors
Mm,
and got in a lot of new information
mm,
that is really helping us out in the scene.
mm,
Like
mm,
if you take Phil Wizard for example, who's able to do 30 rounds without repeating, without getting, probably
mm, mm.
dropping a drop of sweat.
Yeah.
he's a danger if he enters a cultural competition.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's not make a mistake that we think there's the athlete breakers and there's the real breakers. No, the athlete breakers were the real breakers and they're the most
Mm.
dangerous at
Train
this point.
harder.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like they're beasts, bro, on all
Yeah,
levels, on
yeah.
musicality, on creativity, all the
Yeah.
things we care about.
It's
They
amazing.
got good in it.
Mm.
But there was like people even telling me like, now there's a system, people can game the system. I'm like, yo, so what does that exactly mean? That
Mm.
means you know the rules. Well, you should know if you
Yeah,
enter a
yeah.
competition. And what's the way to game the system? To train hard? Oh, that's your that's the way you
Mm.
game it. Oh, like that's just what you should do if you want
Mm.
to
Mm.
win on that level. So yeah, but my stance now is
Mm.
like I will see what happens. I think
Sure.
the hype around Youth Olympics
Yep.
is nothing compared to Paris.
To yeah,
You know,
World Olympics.
like basically I'm also a little bit sad, of course, like everyone
Yep.
that we didn't LA. Because if we had LA, it
Yep.
would just this would all be a learning experience, and we had like 4 years to prepare and better ourselves,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, now that opportunity is gone. It was
Mm.
already
Mm.
gone before Paris. Like
Yes.
Paris had nothing to do with
Yep.
it. So this is sad. And then the next hope was Brisbane,
Mm.
but I
Mm.
will ask you some questions about that because that's in Australia, of
Yeah.
course, and they're dealing with the
It's
backlash of radon. So
it's up to
this
us.
basically means we have like an uncertainty for at least 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the one
Probably even
after that,
more, right? Do you reckon?
sorry.
Probably even more. Like,
Well, if Brisbane is not there, so
yeah.
Brisbane would be 2032, right? So then we're
Yeah.
talking 2036,
Yeah.
bro. That year I will turn 60. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so the hype is gone. Like the people
Mm.
are not so I think as hyped up about it
Mm. Mm.
anymore. The kids, of course, are the future,
Yep.
but also the info that's out now about Dakar, it's
Mm.
going to be super small. They only have 12 b boys, 12 b girls,
Mm. Mm.
and the only way you can even be considered to
Mm.
be in Dakar is if your country
Mm.
every country is handing in a list of 35 sports, if I'm correct,
Mm. Mm.
that they which they will
Oh, okay.
participate with in Dakar.
Yep.
If breaking is not on that list, it doesn't
Then,
matter what talent is in your country.
yep.
That that
You're not
that
on.
dancer will not be able to represent
Mm.
because
Mm.
your national Olympic Committee didn't have
Didn't say
breaking on the
breaking.
list. So,
Mm. Mm.
so that's the first process. Countries now have to convince
Mm.
their national Olympic Committee that they should have breaking on
Yep.
there. Then I think the only obligation is they need to at least enter one WDSF event,
Mm.
and then there's still a lot of priority spots for Africa, of course.
Yep.
So, but my prediction is Asia will dominate because they're
Mm.
on the
Okay.
next level. Japan, China, yo,
I
what's happening over there?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where it's growing.
I gotta ask. Do you reckon that most of the sort of judging staff from the Olympics will carry over into like future events? Will we expect to see sort of the same people at the Youth Olympics as they were in Paris? What do you?
It's changing. I think a lot
Mm.
of I like I
Because I'm.
consider them colleagues,
Yep.
and friends. Like a lot of them already stepped back,
Yep. Yeah. Because I'm.
stayed. Especially, I
Mm.
think the group that was in Paris.
Mm.
I mean, it's a good look on their resume,
Mm.
right? So they have more incentive to stay
Yep.
and stay involved. But they did some new congresses. They're getting new judges every
Mm.
time,
Yeah. Because I'm
and
sure you're not the only one that sort of walked away, right?
yeah, I mean, like I don't even feel I walked away, but I'm just like, okay, that was it for now. It's cool.
Mm.
Like
Yep.
like it's a choice, right? Like
Mm.
I think I was really anticipating on it, and I was really
Mm.
hoping it would like give a bigger effect than it did on breaking.
Mm. Mm.
And still, you got people like Sugar Kicks being sponsored by freaking Mercedes Benz,
Yeah. Yeah. G
But,
Shock.
in some countries it's dope. But
Mm.
what I
Mm.
also see is national teams are deteriorating because the funds are gone. There was
Mm.
IOC money before, and it's gone now. So it's a
Mm.
bit everybody like I said, because we
Mm.
don't have the 4 year
Mm.
thing in the future. Like
Yep.
it's very hard for people to sort of
Yeah.
reorientate
Prepare.
on
Mm.
where to go. Should we keep national teams? Should we
Yeah.
have coaches? Because all that stuff was growing. Like we never
Yep.
had coaches. We never had
Yeah.
national teams. We
Yep.
never had this much ranking battles, right?
Mm. Mm.
So yeah,
Mm.
I don't know, man. Like
It's Yeah, good to know. I feel like I've gotten so much like information about, yeah, Olympics, Olympics, Olympics.
Yo,
it's
and also like there was haters that felt like
mm,
oh, now this will be the new future. No, breaking is breaking. It just is another platform. Like if you have
mm,
the ambition to train like a freaking athlete, because it takes a lot of sacrifices,
mm,
then that's up to you. But if you
mm,
want to keep it mad cultural, then that's up to you as well.
mm, mm,
And I also want to point out, like when it started, it was very sporty, right? Like the stages were way too big. It
mm,
felt like very sterile, and everybody was like, didn't dare to look at athletes because of all these rules.
mm,
But
mm,
later on, it loosened up, and people started to realize, no, to get the best performance out of breakers, you need atmosphere, you need lights, you need a small stage, you
mm,
need
mm.
actually to have people on stage cheering
Yeah,
for their
yeah,
people.
for the
So
homies.
and yeah, they introduced new rules to actually create that vibe again.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
it's
think,
nice. Yeah.
like we will put on a show. There's the entertainment factor to
Mm,
breaking that you will never be able to take away.
mm,
So
mm,
why would you when it's sports? That doesn't make sense. But it's definitely not for everybody.
mm, mm.
And if you want to keep it all raw and street, nobody's holding you back.
Yeah. So speaking of training hard like an athlete, it is past 8 o'clock. But I think maybe before I let you go,
Yeah.
maybe let's talk about how maybe the best athletes may not necessarily make the best judges. Right? I feel like maybe you have
Oh
something to
yeah.
say about this.
Yeah, because of course this whole interview we're doing now was triggered by the video that nobody was asking for, right? And it was hilarious, but already when I saw it, because it's so logic, right? And I think it's you basically echoed something that a lot of people were feeling, like, who are these people? And they're from
I
everywhere, and
mean,
and
yeah.
and can they even break? Which is a very legitimate question. Like in general, my
Mm,
experience is, yes, you need to have a lot of experience as a breaker
mm,
to first of all really fall in love with breaking, feel connected to breaking,
mm.
and be appreciative for others people breaking, and actually know what time went into it, and
Yeah, yeah.
not only on a physical level but also on an artistic level and on a musical level. Like you need to know how difficult things are, or how special things are, right? So you definitely need a deep level of involvement. But should you
Mm,
be a high level champion athlete? I don't know. I
mm,
think
mm.
some of the traits that you need as a judge is you need to be very observative. You need to be
Mm-hmm.
very able to disconnect from your own preference,
Mm.
which I think is a big challenge for a lot of breakers, because
Yeah,
they create their identity by having a style preference,
yeah,
but this should not result in you judging
yeah.
that way, because you want, for as far as it's possible, as objective judging as possible, where you really point out, like, yeah, you were just stronger, you took it, even though you did it in a way I would never do it or didn't even like it, but it was better. You didn't crash, you didn't make
Mm,
mistakes or whatever, but on all levels, right? Like some dancers are creative in a way that I'm like, yeah, I would never make those creative choices, but
mm,
you
mm.
executed it super well and it fits you. Like
Yep,
it fits with everything, with your character. So
yep.
I think this is an ability that you need to train as well. You need to learn. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something that takes time. It takes time to disconnect from you as a competitor to you being an observer and
Mm.
comparing in a fair way. And I don't think everybody was able to do that. Like it takes
Yeah,
stamina as well.
takes yeah
I saw
takes
people zone out because
mm,
they're just not used to
mentally.
paying attention for that long,
Mm-hmm.
and looking at details that long, and or
Yep,
some just simply don't care.
yep.
They like the privilege of sitting there and feeling important, but they really don't have a genuine
Mm,
interest in others. Like for me, like somebody who mentored me also in the judging
mm,
game was Po One.
mm,
Um, and even though he kept his distance to the whole training process and whatever, but
mm,
what I think qualifies him as a good judge, or at least as what you expect, some of the traits, is he really genuinely cares about everybody he's judging, and he has an
mm,
eye for detail, and he will actually make notes to be able to give you
mm.
feedback when you lose.
Yep.
Like that whole mindset is different from somebody who's just sitting there. Yeah, I get paid to choose a winner, and
Mm.
if the loser comes up to me and say, yeah, I don't know, you just didn't impress me or train
Yeah.
harder.
Yep.
That's not what we're there for. Like it's really a service
Yep.
where you need to feel sort of the responsibility, but also the care for people to improve.
Mm, mm.
So you basically, the only thing you highlight when somebody's winning or losing is like,
Mm.
yo, these are your strong points. This is what made you lose that
Mm-hmm.
battle when you compare you with your opponent,
Mm.
and then you see if they can see it and if they can apply it in the training. And so this, I think, if you have that mindset as a very responsible and as a service,
Mm.
you know, then some people will feel like, ah, but that's not for me, man. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
like it that way, like,
In,
because
mm.
yeah. So but we all know this, man. Like some of the
Yeah.
best breakers give horrible workshops. You're like, what the
Mm.
fuck? Like, what did you just try and teach me? Your style? No, I want to understand how you got your style, not
Yeah.
your
Just the
moves.
moves.
So,
Yeah.
but if you're not able to put this into words or to
Mm.
articulate your
Mm.
choices, like it's a skill, man, and
Yeah.
it's something that you really should care about,
Yeah.
I think.
I'm curious to
Yeah,
know,
no.
like, is there a common piece of feedback you find yourself giving to, sort of maybe like the younger breakers who ask you, for feedback? Like, if you were to judge the b boys of this
Yeah, yeah,
generation,
yeah, yeah.
what's
No,
like your
yeah, no,
feedback on them?
there is.
Hmm.
That's a good question, by the
Yeah.
way. So
I want to know your
okay,
thoughts.
something
Yeah.
that yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
so for instance, when we do pre-selection, right, the weakest link of every competition, where you basically as a judge
Mm.
have to sort of find the best and get
Yep.
like the people out that you feel shouldn't
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
pass on. Like what you're doing in your head, like we have a digital version for that where we have one slider per person and we basically compare everybody with everybody. But it has three zones, right? It has like the red, the neutral, and the green,
Mm.
and it's one big slider. It goes, I think, for most prelim apps, it goes from a 0 to 100.
Yep.
So what I've found over the years is when you're in the red, to me, you didn't master breaking yet. So you don't really deserve to pass the
Mm-hmm.
prelims, right? Like you're just struggling with your form and with techniques, and like you're also it totally still that's taking all your energy and time. So you don't
Mm.
even have time to present yourself, and you just look very insecure and clumsy,
Yep.
right? Then in the middle zone, I see a lot of breakers that mastered breaking, but their only message to me as a judge is, "Yo, I can break." I'm like,
Mm.
okay, so you show me you can do five baby mills and a flare and a this and a that. So you just
Mm.
show me I mastered certain moves that I trained hard for, but you're not telling me anything new, right? You're not an individual
Mm.
yet. You're not somebody who stands out that I remember that I'm like, yo,
Okay.
you actually used it as a language to tell me something, right? But this takes a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
So they might have the confidence, they might have the moves, but
Mm.
I'm like, if you want to stand out, like I'm gonna judge Undisputed again at IB or
Mm.
Cybertown next weekend in
Mm. Cool.
Silverback Europe, and there's like 160 people showing up,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm guessing we're gonna choose a top 38 or
Yep.
top 32. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
160 breakers, bro. If you
Mm.
want to stand out, like you need to bring something else than five baby mills, and a clean run.
Damn it.
You need something that makes me remember you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I shouldn't be worried about are you looking to the floor, are you insecure? No, you should be like being there, catching the attention of the judges,
Of the
and be like, yo,
judges.
and Spin from Soul Mavericks, he said it the best. Like your prelim run should be your trailer. Like when you see a
Mm.
trailer of a movie, it either makes you want to watch the movie or not, right?
Mm. Mm.
It's the same way you do your prelim. Like it should be something like, oh snap, there's something here. Like I want to see what this guy or girl has to say, right?
Cool.
So I think this, even though it's a vague advice, but it shows you where you are on this scale. Like if you're still struggling with breaking, like then
Mm.
it's maybe that you're not there yet. If you only showing me basic breaking, it's a big chance that there's a
Mm.
million other people that showed a decent rounds, and
Mm.
it
Mm.
becomes very hard to choose.
Yep.
But when you get into this elite level, you stand out and this can be on all levels. Can be on a physical level, can be on an artistic level, can be on a
Mm. Mm.
musical level. But you do something to capture.
Yep.
Uh, so this is feedback. Another one is I ask people like, what do you run out of
Mm.
when you're deep in the competition? And they say, yeah, moves or stamina.
Mm.
So the physical thing is clear. Like you run out of it, right?
Mm.
So people towards this final always start repeating,
Yep.
or they run out of ideas. They really need to dig deep, so they don't have any vocabulary anymore. That's the mind power. So there's physical
Mm.
power, mind power, but there is also soul power. Which, if you're connected with the
Mm.
music, your
Mm.
soul power will never run out, because
Say
this is
yeah.
basically. I saw two people, right? Both
Mm.
out of moves, both totally dead tired, right? Gassed out.
Mm. Mm.
Who's winning? The person who starts playing with the music,
Mm.
because music is the only thing that keeps on changing. And if you follow the
Mm.
music, you create a different round, you create a
Yeah.
new round,
Okay.
with impact moments, with highlights, with and it makes sense, you know.
Mm.
But if you're only depending on your head and your muscles, and they're done,
Yeah.
then you're empty. It's going to be nothing, right?
Yeah.
So this is something that I think why you should be a good dancer and why you should actually be able to adapt to the music, you know, because you're going to rely on it towards the final.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. So, do you have more judging gigs coming up? Like, what's next for Jurskee?
Yeah, so I just came from Estonia, which was a small jam, but it's super dope over
Mm.
there. Like they're building like the local community, and they created a camp which is gonna be hectic. Like in a week,
Mm.
they got Stripes coming over there, Rocks Ride,
Oh, cool.
Sambo.
What's
You
it
know,
called?
Sambo. It's called Camp of Hip Hop in Estonia,
Okay.
but it's growing. Like they just created it. I think Renegade is curating it, and
Okay.
he's just bringing like people
Okay.
that have
Cool.
the knowledge, right?
Could be one
So
to
I
look
just
out
came
for.
from there
Mm.
to judge a breaking gig, and then next weekend will be Silverback Europe, so Cypher Town
Nice.
in Budapest. So I
Yep.
will be almost returning a year after I was there for the Oki West to
Yeah.
Budapest,
Yeah.
which is,
Cool. So you're still
and
going at
then
it.
it's sorry.
You're still going at it. You're still.
Yeah, for sure. And then it's IBE, and IBE is like, yo,
Mm.
that's a staple. Like I'm there.
Yeah. For
Like
fun.
I was at the first IBE. We were invited as a crew in '98. So just
Nice.
to
Full
see that
circle.
event grow and still be there, and I'll be
Cool.
yeah judging there for the undisputed, and maybe host a talk show.
Yeah.
But we'll see, man. Just
Mad.
enjoy some summer things. Yeah,
Nice.
man.
Okay. One last
Yeah, and then
question.
the rest of
Yeah.
the year, yeah,
Mm.
I'm busy with breaking education that we do in Holland. Like we have a
Oh,
school
cool.
that uh, it has a offers a 3 year education to people that are full time breaking and they want to get their orientation in the work field to see what they can do with their
Mm-hmm.
skills or their knowledge. And we learn them the professional side that you need to actually maintain jobs,
Yeah. Sure.
but introduce them to all the fields, you know, because some people think, yeah, you can only become a Red Bull All Star or open a dance school, but we
Mm-hmm.
tell them no, you can, you know, be a teacher, event
Yeah. Yeah.
organizer, photographer, DJ, whatever, you know, everything that's related to breaking. It's so much.
Yep.
So that's dope. That's the rest
Cool.
of my year.
All right. Final question for you before we wrap it up. We've gone a bit over
Yeah.
time, but final thing. What are your hopes for the scene in 5, 10 years? What would you like to see more of in breaking?
I mean, this may sound weird, but just for people mentally to grow up a little bit
Mm.
and don't like always pull each other down with this crabs in the bucket mentality, because we're all doing the same thing, you know. And of course, friction makes us all better, but sometimes there's so many haters that don't
Mm.
really make moves that I'm like, come on, guys, like because breaking will keep on evolving. Like for me, breaking is now like established as a dance form,
Mm. Mm.
and it still has limitless possibilities to evolve and to grow. The thing I'm sometimes a bit worried about is how young people start,
Mm.
because I feel a big difference between when I started and it was like really cultural orientated and clubs and music
Mm.
orientated, and I feel you cannot really bring that to people that are 5 years old in a studio
Mm.
with
Mm.
mirrors. So I feel that connection should all the time be made. That
Yep.
yo, it's a party dance. It's something you do to let off steam. You know, that
Mm.
when the
Mm.
right song comes on. So always for all the teachers out there, you know, teach ownership. Make
Mm. Mm.
sure that breaking feels as something that's part of them instead of something that they come to class for to learn from you. You know, because
Mm.
that's
Mm.
just a small part of breaking. Breaking is like something that will stay with you the rest of your life, even if you're in your professional decisions that you make in your career later on in life. You know, it teaches you so much.
Mm. Mm.
So I think that approach, which is a bit like almost Zulu Nation approach, but you know,
Mm.
just just know yourself sort of thing.
Mm.
Like
Mm.
hip hop is pretty deep if you look into it, you know. And I
Mm.
feel I hope that will be passed on, and then let's see what happens. I see now there's a
Mm.
tendency of introducing more crew battles, which I
Mm.
think is a very good development,
Yep.
because that was a part that was missing after Red Bull basically took
Mm. Mm.
over. Um, so yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to see where we'll go and
Mad.
where the new kids will bring it, because
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
keep
It's
bringing the
cool.
level up and insane.
All
So
right.
yeah.
Mad. Okay. Last thing.
Uh,
Any shout outs and where can people find you, Jurskee? Besides the jams.
Um, yeah, shout out to you. I think it's mad funny we did this interview because of the video you made. But Now, for real, I think, you know, even if you're critical, that's the right approach. You know, just keep questioning things, and I hope your channel gets some following.
I appreciate
Um,
that.
yeah, so yeah, for real. But no shout
That's cool.
outs, like, yo, shout outs to so many people, man. Like,
Mad.
I don't know, like, not nothing in specific. No,
Okay,
just
cool.
where they can find me. Yeah, just usual. I'm
Yep.
not very modern. I'm not on X or TikTok
Not
or
on the
whatever,
gram.
but I'm on Instagram.
All
I'm on a
right.
dying page of Facebook, but yeah, I'm
Cool,
pretty
cool.
easy to find. I think.
All
All right.
right. Jeskey, thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah, man. Thank
Cool.
you.